If you've ever dreamed of scaling your agency to 100K a month, achieving financial freedom, and basically living the life that you want to live, then you better watch this video because I'm about to change the course of your fucking business. What's going on, guys? My name's Cole, the founder of the Upper Echelon. I've been in the agency space for the past 4 years now, and in the past 2 years, I've literally dedicated my fucking life to helping agency owners just like you find a consistent way of client acquisition and generating revenue. Now, let's dive into this. First, the bad news. Even though millions of agency owners will try and scale their business this year, there will be very few that actually succeed. Think about it. How many people do you know that want to start an agency or an online business? And then how many do you also know that succeed at it? The truly lucky ones will land a few clients, streamline their operations, and maybe expand their team a little bit. But nearly every single person will fall short of their revenue and overall goals. And maybe that's even happened to you already. You end up seeing all these new strategies online and you want to implement them as soon as possible for your agency, but then you end up just wasting all your time and money. Or maybe you try and tweak your ads or your sales process, but you only end up with less conversions and a lower closing rate. And like when I was in your situation, it even felt like doubtful that I can even hit that 100K a month mark. What I want to get across to you guys is if you are feeling like this, I want you to know that you are not the only one. See, the reason why people struggle with client acquisition and bringing in a consistent stream of revenue is because of these mainstream people saying that you need to work harder and spend more on ads and that will just bring you $1 million. I mean, if you just think about it, real growth comes from clarity, strategic planning, and actually executing and implementing. There is no one-size-fits-all solution for an agency that has its own and unique problems. So essentially, these approaches of spend a bunch in ads and work really hard 18 hours a day are only going to work if you're lucky. If only just posting more and spending more in ads actually worked, then maybe you would have a more consistent stream of revenue coming in the door. And like, we would be so fucking lucky if that was the case. To tie into this as well, let me share a little bit of a story about myself. I used to pull like 16, 18-hour days around like 3 years ago. Every single hour that I wasn't asleep was going into my agency. And I was just grinding, spending money on ads. I had no idea what was going on. And guess what the result of that was? Burnout and this many dollars in my bank account. It always had felt like a leaking bucket, right? So like no matter how much water I poured in, or work in this case, then it was always just coming out and nothing was coming out of it. And then those ads that I was running, yeah, sure, right? Like they were bringing in leads, but not high quality appointments like I needed. They were more interested in telling me that they needed to think about it or look at the contract or just like trying to bargain with my fucking service. I was stuck in a loop of working harder for less in my agency. It's no wonder why the quote unquote lucky ones made it look so easy and then I was over there stuck and struggling. So the truth about this whole scenario is it doesn't take more money and it doesn't take more work. It takes strategies and knowledge to scale a business. How crazy is that? That the fact that if you are smarter, then you will scale. It is possible, while it might seem hard to believe, that you can scale your agency without spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on ads, cold calls, cold emails, and all of that boring outreach. So it probably feels a little bit too good to be true, and I get it, like I have been exactly in your situation. But I wanna let you guys know that this is unlike anything that you have ever heard of before. That's because putting all your money into paid ads with no return, burning the midnight oil, and chasing these marketing fads, all that is history. And in just from seconds from now, you'll discover how we close and how my agency closed at over 35%, and how our sales calls were only 20 minutes long because our prospects knew, liked, and trusted us before the call, how we generated over 20 sales calls every single day for my solar marketing agency, and then how I scaled that agency from 5K a month to 100K a month in just 4 months time. And I know these sound like freaking outrageous, bold claims, but like I said, I use these exact same strategies to scale my own agency to 100K a month. And now I've implemented it in hundreds of other agencies to help them scale as well. And I know for a fact that this funnel will work for you too. And so here's a little sneak peek of what you get when you work with us. All right, so this is the roadmap from 10, 20, 30, even 40K a month to 100K a month with our Objectionless funnel. So I could go through these all freaking day. But Loic Corburet, founder of Solar Scouts, right, went from 8K to 51K in just 6 months. And actually, Loic's now at 100K a month. We have an interview out with him on my YouTube channel if you guys want to check that out. Jacob Zhang, founder of Rocket Roof AI in the roofing niche, closed $9.5 thousand and $300 in spend, 33 demos with $50 a day in a week, 9.5 cash collected, another 13K in the pipeline. Aria Jacques from 5K a month to 76K a month in 6 months, 6K PIF. David Chandler, founder of FPC Consulting, 18K a month to 64K a month in 55 days. And I could go all day with this. But it's just the fact that the proof is in the pudding and this shit works, right? And the purpose of this video is to show you guys that you don't have to keep closing at 5 to 15% and basically getting on the phone with people saying they need to think about it, saying they need to talk to their partner, saying they need to see your contract, saying that they're talking to other people and they might go with somebody else. The people that aren't even showing up to the call, people that are negotiating the price, people that need a guarantee to close, essentially people that like are the hardest closes in the world, and people that just ghost you after that. They're like, oh yeah, let's do this, and then you just never hear from them again. Now, the thing is, most people will get a few calls and then they'll think it's kind of a sales issue, why they're not closing more deals, and then they end up training sales and they don't really address the bottleneck to what it is. Now, most agencies, if not all, at this 10 to 40K a month mark, the biggest bottleneck, right, is they are not trusted or respected by their target audience, right? The fact that you're getting these objections comes down to that reason and that reason only. Now, what I need you guys to realize, if you're booking a call with Alex Hormozi, think about it. You have the chance to book a call with the fucking goat, Hormozi, and you're going to get the chance to work with him for a fair price, right? Not a fair, yeah, fair price, right? So if you book a call with him, let's say it was 7 months in the future on a random ass fucking Thursday. First off, you would make sure that it was in your calendar. You wouldn't even forget about it. You would get really fucking excited for it to come. You wouldn't give him a bullshit objection. You would pretty much just buy his shit no matter what it was, right? So you'd show up, no objection. You'd respect him. You'd respect the sales process. You wouldn't care if he had 15 automations and spammed you. You wouldn't care if he had no automations. You would show up. Right? And so like you would respond to his automations and you would go through the sales process. You would answer the confirmation call. You would go through this whole process. Now you wouldn't care how much he texted you. Now that's what I need you guys to realize, right? They don't trust you and they don't respect you and they don't care about you at all, right? So currently your prospects see you as every other shitty marketing agency out there, just like the last one who kind of picked them over. And so the market that you're currently in is more competitive than ever. Whatever service provider you is, whether agency, coach, consultant, whatever, your market is more competitive than it has ever been. And it's really, really hard to land high ticket clients. So your prospects get hundreds of cold calls a day, hundreds of cold emails a day. They see hundreds of ads a day. They're getting fucking bombarded, right? And then out of all those people, 97 of them don't even want your service. And the remaining 3% of the people are just trying to find out if you're the right person to work with. And right now you're probably not, because you're probably not the best at what you do for the best price. And so like they're desensitized to this shit. They see this all the time. So what I need you guys to think about is like, why in the world would they go with you? Like a complete stranger who they had no idea who they existed until you sent them your outreach. And so this is a race to the bottom. It's a cycle of never scaling, because you're going to book a few calls a week, a few will show up, none of them trust you, you never really close anybody, you close a few clients a month, you really have no predictable system to be able to scale. So think of it like this. Let's say your service is 3K a month, right? Or 2 to 3K a month. Your prospects could pay the average Lamborghini Huracan payment with that. Think, like, I'm just gonna let that sit there. That means your service has to provide more value to their life than a fucking Lambo. And that's exactly why no one buys your fucking shit, because it doesn't. And so you're probably like, Cole, you just shit on me for 5 minutes. Are you ever gonna give me a solution to the problem? Yes. Okay, I will. Just give me a second. So to preface the solution to this problem, like the reason why what all of the gurus are telling you isn't fucking working is because they're essentially trying to get you to give them something that the prospect doesn't even want. They are teaching you how they scaled their coaching business, right? These guys flex Stripe screenshots of a coaching business, which cool, they built a big business, but you are not trying to build a coaching business. They aren't teaching you how to scale an agency because they've never fucking done it, right? So instead of bringing up a bunch of friction with your prospects, like forcing them to watch a 30-minute training video or running a lead magnet or an offer where you like, it's done with you, right? Your prospects don't want that. And that's something you need to realize. What we need to do is give our prospects exactly what they want, while at the same time having them want to go through our sales process. And so if we can do that, we can make a lot of money, right? And we can close at 35% plus, right? So, and book a fuck ton of calls. Essentially learning how you can take somebody from a complete stranger to someone willing to give you a fuck ton of money, thousands of dollars, and give you their credit card. And if you can do this, you can build a really, really big business. To dive a little bit deeper on the objectionless funnel, right? We break this down into 3 components. So it's going to be offer, right? So creating an offer that's a little bit different, not a little bit different from other people, building trust with our audience. Lead generation, how can we get people to consume content and things like that before the call so they trust us? And sales process, how can we build and nurture our audience as much as possible during the sales process in order for them to trust us to be able to close at that KPI of 35%. So when it comes to offer, first thing we break down is who are you targeting? So we like to get very, 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 very specific with this. So what are their pain points? What do they do? What do they love, right? What types of words do they use? If we can understand who exactly we are targeting and where exactly we are trying to take them, which is the next step, right? Then we can get very, very specific with our marketing. And so like what I am doing is targeting somebody from 10 to 30K a month with their agency. And I'm going to take them to 100K a month. Right? And that's what I need you guys to realize. And so like the only people that I'm taking on is people between 10 and 30K a month. What that allows us to do is first off, provide a really, really good product because we are very specialized at one person. We're not taking a bunch of people on, right? And that allows us to market, insert, and sell very, very well because of the fact that I know everybody's pain point that is watching this video, right? Because that was me, right? And so get very, very specific with who are you targeting and where are you taking them. Third, what do they want more than anything? So I'll compare this to my solar agency a while ago. I would get on a bunch of calls and everyone would just be like, I want to do pay-per-close. I want to do pay-per-close. I want to do pay-per-close, which essentially like pay after close deal. Of course, everybody wants to do that, right? And so I was like, why don't I just fucking do it, right? And so then I started to offer a pay-per-close service to them, but I had like a $4,500 setup fee and they fucking loved it. And so instead of trying to shove some retainer in their face that they didn't fucking want, instead, I literally got the data on what my prospects wanted, what my ideal avatar wanted, and I just gave it to them. And so I literally gave it to them while monetizing it for myself. Next, how do they want it? And so again, let's use the same example. For example, like maybe a solar agency or a roofing agency, just marketing, right? Or they probably want those things done for them. They most likely just want the appointments on the calendar, right? They don't want to waste their time doing this. They don't want to waste their time doing that. They just want to take the appointment, close them, and make the money. While let's say maybe a short form content agency, maybe they would want to learn how to do it themselves, right? So done with you. So after your relationship, they can learn how to do it themselves and still get the views. So how do they want it? And deliver it like that. So if they want it done for them, deliver it done for them. If they want it done with them, deliver it like that. So exactly what I was talking about. Deliver it to them and give them that exactly. And then find a way to monetize it for yourself. So again, stop trying to shove shit in the market that it doesn't want. You're getting data on your offer every single day when you're hopping on sales calls. People are telling you exactly what they like and exactly what they don't like in their objections. And so like it all strives with the offer. It all starts with the offer. I've seen so many businesses have a dialed in sales process and lead gen mechanism, but like they don't scale. The reason is because their offer's not dialed in, right? And so if we have a dialed in offer, we make a lot of money. We get data on that every single day. We just need to make adjustments. And then how are we more qualified to give that service to our prospects rather than anyone else, right? So that's offer. Next, we get into the lead gen. First things first, we have top of funnel ads, right? And now the goal of these top of funnel ads is not to get a booked appointment. Now you're probably like, Cole, what the f? We're just wasting our ad spend then? No, we're not. So the goal of the top of funnel ads is to get awareness and information, right? So we would just want people seeing our face. We just want people knowing who we are. So a lot of the time this can be a traffic campaign, right? And so we can do this through YouTube, Facebook, short form content, cold outreach, emails, whatever. We just need some sort of mechanism to get in front of a lot of people so they know our face and know our name, right? After that, they opt in and we put them in an email sequence and we give them a straight to point content playlist is something I like to call it. A lot of times we'll send YouTube in the coaching space. A lot of the people are focused on YouTube very, very heavy because it is a very good asset to have. But in the local business space, it is very, very hard to be sending YouTube videos. These guys don't want to watch that shit. We'll have a straight to point content playlist, which is a playlist on a YouTube channel, but it's just basically pre-handling objections and FAQs and giving free value. Maybe for like solar, because I use this example a lot because I was in solar, obviously. We would do like a masterclass on like, I need to think about it, right? Because they're probably getting that objection. So exactly what they want and add that to a playlist. Now the goal here is to just stay in their mind, right? To provide value. So they're seeing your face, they're seeing your email, they're seeing that you know what you're talking about. And then from there, bottom of funnel, schedule ads. So we'll end up retargeting all these people all these people from here. We'll retarget them, and then we'll make the ask, right, to book a call, right? We have some like VSLs and stuff after this, kind of pre-qualifying them, and then they get an application to book a call, right? And so, like I said, the goal here is to stay in their mind. The goal here is to collect their info and the data. And so we collect the information and the data, then we nurture them, and then we get the call booked. Most people will try and send content after the call is booked, and that is a very messy game to play. We want them to know us before the call gets booked. Now, both of these, the goal is to book a call, right? So we want them to book the call on our page rather than to call them and schedule them with our setter like that. The reason being is they chose on their own to book a call and that it was worth their time. And so self-bookings are always going to be better. Now, it doesn't matter where they come from, just that they know us before they schedule. And that's something very, very important. So to recap, top of funnel ads, and this is just at a very high level, top of funnel ads, right? Getting as much awareness as possible, and then nurturing them with an email sequence and content, straight to the point content. And then bottom of funnel ads, retargeting these people to optimize for schedules, and then they apply to book, right? Third, sales process. Now, let's go ahead and assume that they applied to the call and they got accepted to have the call with you. From there, the call is obviously scheduled, right? After the call is scheduled, we take them to the thank you page. Now, the thank you page is a walkthrough video, right? So an example of that would be, hey, thanks for taking the time to book a call. Make sure you confirm the call. Make sure you do this. Make sure you answer this call. So basically outlining what the sales process is going to look like for you and him or her, whoever's booking the call. And so they can understand and kind of walk through those phases. Next, add the call to their calendar. So this is something else we want to include on the thank you page. And third, have our straight shot VSL. So straight shot VSL, very, very similar to the straight to the point content. Now, the way in local business niches we like to start with the VSL is because this market is so competitive. They've hopped on thousands of these calls already. When we're doing exactly what everyone else has done to them, they're just going to see us as scammers. And so when we start to be like, I know your time's valuable, like I know you're busy, I know you've seen 100 of these before, all I want to do is tell you exactly what we do so we're not wasting each other's time. That's going to increase retention of the video 10x, right? So after they thank you page, essentially they're going to get a confirmation text, right? Basically saying, hey, saw you booked a call, reply yes to confirm. With this confirmation text, we've seen a 94% show rate when they do confirm and a 54% show rate when they don't. So this is very, very important. After this pre-call email is sent. So in the confirmation text, it'll also be like, hey, check out your email. Now the goal in this pre-call email is to get them to like, know, and trust us. That is the goal of this whole funnel, right? That is the whole goal of this whole funnel, to appear different, to be different than the competition, and giving them exactly what they want, right? And then nurturing them before they even book a call, getting them to like, know, trust, right? And then throughout the whole sales process, getting them to book a call when it's very, very important to them, right? So this pre-call email is going to include three things, right? And we'll move this down here. Testimonials and client interviews, right? So they trust us. Straight to the point content playlist, the same one that was up here. So they know us. Intro to the closer. So if you're the own closer, just an intro about you, we'll do like a closer handoff, right? And so I would be with the closer on Zoom and I'd be like, hey, this is the consultant you're going to be talking to. He's super qualified. He's been in the industry for this long. He's going to take care of you. So intro to the closer. They're going to start liking you. They understand you. No, straight to the point content playlist. They know you. They know that you know what you're talking about. Trust, testimonials, client interviews, right? Very, very simple. The last things that we will do is an application grade. And so this is something I got from Ravi Abuvala, if you guys know him, right? So what he taught me was essentially how they grade their applications. And this was something super, super valuable for my agency. So when somebody self-books an appointment, we're going to have this application that I was talking about down here in the lead gen, right? Application to book. And in that application, there's going to be a few questions. Now, let's just use, for example, one of the questions is, what is your biggest bottleneck? And what have you tried to fix it? And so like, if they're very, very detailed in their application, we'll give them a 1. We'll give them a 4. Sorry about that. If they're somewhat detailed, 3. If they're not very detailed at all, 2. If they have no detail, it's 1 word, then 1, right? So essentially, the more qualified, the higher the number. If it's a 1, we auto cancel it. So a 1 would be like, maybe they live in like India or something like that, and they're not qualified at all for your service. You're targeting roofers and they're in solar, right? 2, let's say you're targeting roofers and they're somewhat qualified, but it's on the edge, right? That's when they would be a 2. 3 and 4, these are qualified prospects, right? And so that's a question we like to add to the application of book right here is, what is your bottleneck and what have you tried to fix it? Something that we will also implement right after that, and we used to implement as well in my agency, is on that application where it was like, hey, this is my bottleneck. We would send them a specific piece of content to address that bottleneck immediately and be like, oh, yo, I saw your bottleneck is this. Check this out. We just helped one of our clients do this. So we had like 3 pre-made videos with this client, this client, this client. And it was, they were like testimonial type things. And it was like, this was his bottleneck, it was sales. This was his bottleneck, it was lead gen. This was his bottleneck, it was this. And so when you go about doing that and you send that basically video of being like, oh yeah, this client reminds me a lot of you. I just wanted to send this over to you, see if you would help. Also builds a lot of trust in this whole process, right? And so after that, we're getting only 3 and 4, so only qualified people on the call. We're sending them the content, right? They have already seen our face. They're like no trusting us from this pre-call email. From the thank you page, they're consuming more content. And so by the time they hop on this call, they're pretty much closed. And so what this allows us to do is collect more cash up front, right? Charge higher ticket and essentially close at a way higher percentage. So essentially this is, in a nutshell, the very, very scheme of the funnel. And so that doesn't even break the tip of the iceberg with the objectionless funnel. But by the time you unlock the objectionless funnel and dive into our initial walkthrough session and you experience essentially the call and the insights that we provide you, then you will have every single thing you need to know from a knowledge standpoint about how to scale your agency to $100,000 a month. Imagine not having to second guess your marketing strategies or worry about the next lead coming in or the next client coming in ever again. And so something I want you to realize is our commitment is to your success. A really big value that you'll hear me and the team talking about is that we will treat your business with the own care like it is our own. Now, I probably sound like I'm over here gassing this thing up, right? But you're probably thinking to yourself, what if it doesn't work? And the thing I want you to understand about that is, let me assure you this. It is satisfaction guaranteed. So we guarantee that you will make $200,000 in additional agency revenue, or you don't pay a single dime, I will wire you all of your money back. But here is the catch, right? Since the guarantee is so extensive, then obviously we can't onboard an infinite amount of people per month. That would just be ridiculous, right? So to keep it one-on-one and to keep the service very, very good, we actually only onboard 7 people a month. This assures that essentially each client is going to get my and my team's direct attention and care. So why not take the next step? Scroll below this video to secure your complimentary walkthrough call. You'll be on with one of my consultants and he'll basically walk you through A to Z how we would go about implementing this process into your business. And something I want you guys to keep in mind is our guarantee $200,000 or you don't pay a single dime means that we are going to provide real value to you guys, not just give you some sales pitch. We're going to provide you with actionable insights for your agency and only extend you an offer if we can see potential for massive, massive growth. The reason why we're not out here offering everybody is because I can't offer every single person a $200,000 guarantee. So we will only extend that offer, like I said, if we know for a fact that you will succeed. So don't let your fears hold you back. Let's explore together how the objectionless funnel can basically blow your business up. So like I said, book your totally free walkthrough call below. And something I want you to remember, life is fleeting and you've been on the battle to scale your agency for a few months, if not a few years. It's another day of pouring a lot of effort and resources into strategies that yield little to no return. So what would another year of this cycle look like? How much potential revenue was left on the table? How much longer can you afford to let this opportunity pass you by? But this cycle of uncertainty and feeling lost can stop right now. Just click the link below, right, and book a consultation call with a member of my team. Let's envision something together real quick. It's 1 month from today. We kicked our partnership off just a few weeks back, and the changes are already unfolding. You wake up in the morning, you get out of bed, and you see a client closed, the Stripe invoice. Now, walk with me a little bit further. It's now 3 months down the line, and now your life looks significantly different than just a few months back, doesn't it? Your business starts to generate more rev in a single day than it did in a single month. You begin to actually experience what it's like to be a business owner with time freedom, financial freedom, everything that you want. And then you stop being an overwhelmed agency owner working 16 hours a day to an actual business owner and entrepreneur. And it all started right now, exactly right here today. So take the step to transforming your life and do not let another day slip by. So book your call. Let's turn your dreams into a reality. And like I always say, I'm rooting for you.